Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be hosting today's Lunch Club. This edition will be for the retail industry, but even if you are not in retail, all of these examples could still be applicable to you. So feel free to stick around. We'll be discussing how you can use AI to save you time, inspire you, and create a proposal for a new retail location. So let's get going. A little background about myself and why I'm the one running this workshop today. I have 10 plus years of experience in luxury fashion at places like LVMH and Yeezy, and I've even built my own namesake brand, TITOV. I was a solopreneur and had bootstrapped the entire business, so I have a very deep understanding of how time consuming most projects are and how AI can truly be a lifesaver. So now that you know who I am, let's establish today's goal. We will be taking TITOV as an example e-commerce brand, and we will develop a strategy and creative for launching a new brick and mortar store. I have personally hosted tons of pop-ups in my lifetime, and I know how much goes into planning, sourcing, mood boarding, and whatnot. So in the next half hour, we will go step by step and see how AI allows us to not have to spend hours or even days really on a goal like this. We know this is quite a lofty goal that is typically done over a period of time. Let's estimate it would typically take about a week. But today we will save said week and do it all in under an hour. But how do we get you that extra week? Let's look into a few examples of how AI can do the tasks for you. First, I broke down exactly what needs to be done for a process like creating a proposal for a store opening. We'll begin by looking at the future of retail and seeing if a store should even be considered. Then we will research places to open in, which will lead us into developing the store details based off of TITOV's established branding. Then we'll create visual mockups, finished off with editing the mockups to include comments. So let's get started with the first step, which is summarize. Here we are going to establish a benchmark for ourselves. We'll look at the industry as a whole and what to keep an eye on. I've downloaded Business of Fashion's State of Fashion for 2024 report, and instead of reading the 128 pages, we will have Charlie summarize this for us and provide key notes to look out for. The prompt I have chosen for this is, pretend you are an expert analyst and summarize the key points in this document. Make sure to highlight any specific details about brick and mortar. As you can see in the output, Charlie provided a full recap. I'm not going to go through the entire recap, but some of the key topics there he pulled were, he starts off by talking about challenges and adjustments in the retail sphere. And then it's followed by investments in physical footprint. The report discusses the resurgence of in-person shopping that is also localized and personalized. And the last section is all about the reinvention of retail experiences. And then he also goes through and breaks down each category and gives a synopsis of it. Now, based off of this information, I'd be able to conclude that thinking about opening a store is in line with where customers will be purchasing in 2024 and gives me additional confidence to proceed with a proposal. Next, we will be thinking about strategy. And now that we've gone through some of these predictions in retail, our hypothesis of opening a store or pop-up is validated, and we can proceed to figuring out where exactly should we even do this. Because TITOV is a luxury brand, I chose to ask Charlie the following. Pretend you are an expert researcher. Please tell me what the fastest growing cities are in the US that is targeting luxury shoppers. And what Charlie was able to provide was a list of the top cities based on a Vogue business article about luxury shoppers. And he conveniently also provided the source link if I wanted to read more detail on it. But now that we know what the first choice is, we're gonna go with Nashville, Tennessee. For this example, I've just personally never been to Raleigh or Phoenix. I've been to Nashville, so we're gonna go with Nashville. And we are going to make that our core city that we want to either create a retail store or pop up in. Now, this leads us into branding. I am beyond obsessed with branding and think it's wildly important for companies to take seriously. So when thinking about a new location, this should be top of mind. I already had a TITOV brand brief as a PDF document, so I uploaded it and requested Charlie to describe a store that had TITOV's branding, but also incorporated the essence of Nashville. You don't want these things to look so cookie cutter and have no personality. I received a very, very long and detailed output from Charlie that included descriptions for exterior, interior, layout, branding integration, and customer experience. Because it's so much, I didn't want to overpower the screen, but there was one example for the interior look of a TITOV in Nashville. This is what Charlie said. The interior design would reflect TITOV's brand aesthetic, characterized by clean lines, soft color palettes, and luxurious materials. To infuse Nashville's essence, the store could incorporate elements inspired by the city's rich musical heritage, such as subtle references to musical notes or instruments in the decor. We can now use a description like this and begin the mock-up process. So, obviously, a store is not a store without any sort of design work and interior design work going into it. And we typically would need some sort of mock-up to show a designer. What is it that you want exactly? I took what Charlie described for the interior design and asked Charlie to generate a few images. The prompt was, based on these details, generate 10 images of a store designed for TITOV lingerie. Upon entering the store, customers would be greeted by a warm and sophisticated ambience. The interior design would reflect TITOV's brand aesthetic, characterized by clean, soft color palettes, luxurious materials. The elements inspired to infuse Nashville's essence. The store could incorporate elements inspired by the city's rich musical heritage, such as subtle references to musical notes or instruments in the decor. And as you can see, this image is actually quite accurate to what I would have wanted for a TITOV store, and even has a few elements that I wouldn't have thought of. This process can take as long as you'd like and have so much fun with it. I know I personally, making this deck, went through a little bit of a rabbit hole and made a ton of images because it was just so much fun. And it really cuts so much time, because imagine trying to do this in an interior design software program and getting this level of detail. It makes it go from 0 to 1 so much quicker and so much more efficiently. And you could totally give this photo to your interior designer, your set designer, and they will at least know what the brand behind the space will look like. Another thing that I was actually really surprised about when going through this process, I attempted to test out other image generators for comparison, and I was actually fairly shocked with how censored they were. I'd attempted variations of the phrase "a luxurious store selling lingerie for an edgy, cool NYC brand." Notice how that statement does not have anything inappropriate requested, but my assumption is that the word lingerie may have triggered it to block the generation. So these are 2 screenshots of 2 different image AI generators that flagged it as inappropriate or unsafe. If you have ever worked in a slightly more, let's say, shocking industry, you will know how frustrating it can be to get approvals from various other companies for marketing materials, for advertisements, and I have personally lived through the frustrations of getting flagged by Meta because something's inappropriate, even though there won't even be a human in it, and it's a promo for a Valentine's Day sale or something like that. And basically every AI tool that I've ever used won't go into detail or generate anything that would be useful for a lingerie store, except for Charlie. And I love that Charlie was able to create all of this without an issue. That's just one thing to keep an eye out, depending on what company you are and what type of products you are selling. Not all of these programs are created equally. And then sometimes you have comments on it, right? Maybe the output wasn't 100% how you wanted it to look like, or there are certain things you really, really loved. You can totally edit the image right in Charlie. So whatever you want to address, you can add an arrow, you can draw on it, you can add text. You can see here, I call out the placement of a checkout desk that I actually really love these mannequins and that we should try to find similar ones. And serendipitously, I have searched high and low for years for a custom neon sign to use in pop-ups and in stores. Yet I was never sure if it would actually look good. So I've never really looked too deeply into it. I've just always dreamt about it. And here is Charlie showing me how amazing something like that would look and that it would still come off as luxury. And this again was just very serendipitously, this photo came out just based off of the branding, and I was pleasantly surprised that a neon sign was in the store. You can also add text. Say you have imagery that you've generated for your Instagram or little sneak peeks behind the scenes. You can totally add text onto any of the images and reuse them in your marketing materials as well. As a refresher, today we were able to summarize a document about the state of fashion in 2024, followed by working with Charlie to understand the location of our new store or pop-up. We then brainstormed how our brand would look in a new city, and then created mock-ups with call-outs for our designers to run with. And all of those, I know I had slides pre-made for you. Every single one of those prompts took less than 30 seconds, other than when I spent a good amount of time with the images just because I was having fun. So to compile all this information, it really shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes. And you could do as many iterations as you would like to. This is a limitless experience. And you can do this for every type of city, every type of pop-up, every type of brand. We have seen our customers on the GoCharlie side gain incredible results by using AI. Some have saved 17,000 in transcription costs. We have a client who was able to add 40% additional clients to their portfolio by their staff just being able to save so much time day to day. I really hope after this session that you take some time and experiment with Charlie. And if you have any additional questions or are looking for maybe higher customization for your business, please feel free to email me at masha@gocharlie.ai, and I'm happy to answer all your questions or redirect you to our tech team. So happy talking to all of you. I'm just happy to get your email. And to finish it off, we are running a 2-week intensive incubator. We developed this incubator specifically for freelancers and agencies to guide them on their AI journey. We will be helping them understand where exactly they can implement AI in their business, how they can help their clients more efficiently, and in the end, have the capacity to bring on more work. The deadline to apply is on March 16th of this year, 2024, and you'll receive actionable resources, personalized content, certificate of completion, and insane guest speakers that are all experts within their fields. This is an incubator that's really made for agencies and freelancers, but if you are in the retail area, please reach out if you're interested, because there may be a lot more overlap than you think. So we're happy to have all of you apply to our incubator. We hope we see you at the next lunch club. We do these every Friday at 1 o'clock, while you can eat a late lunch or an early lunch if you're on the West Coast or in another time zone. And I'm just super excited to see you all next week. Bye.